Boom! We are off with another episode of Booze Your Dad, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with my boy, coming in with below average Penix energy. It's Zach Elias. What's up, buddy?
My Penix energy is okay. I'm on the pill. Not for that yet, actually. Though I've heard it's great. Not yet for that. You have to have sex, need that pill. I don't know. Nevertheless.
Booze Your Dad, the podcast. Tuesdays, we do it live. Saturdays, we post it later. There's been a lot of episodes, 202, in fact. If this is your first episode, welcome. Bienvenue.
Welcome. And listen to the other ones. You got time.
That's what I was getting at. I said there's 202 other ones.
Right. So they should be listening back. They got nothing but time. There's only so many rewatchables you can listen to. This is better.
Zach, we have an episode here for everybody tonight. As I told you, I'm not having the most energy right now, mainly due to my roommate's kid, but I'm going to do everything I can to get cheery.
You took a shit at 4:30 in the morning and you've got no energy? You should be good to go. Take me backstage.
Before we get into today's episode, why don't you tell everybody what you are drinking?
The reason it's a Wednesday today, not a Tuesday, it's a softball game yesterday. There's no good bars in the area, yada, yada, yada. We all brought beer to the thing. They told me to get a six-pack. I couldn't find 6 Bud Lights because no one sells six-packs anymore. Like, you rip them up. No. So I got 3 tall boys. So I'm drinking a Bud Light tall boy because nobody didn't finish them. Now, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be from the Steph Dancona Brewery over here. Now, I got 3 of these things. I just pulled 3 Bud Lights because they're the cheapest. I had one last night. Eric, our boy, has one too. Bud Light Platinum. It's like 6% alcohol. Yeah, I thought they were all platinum. I just picked 3. I thought this was going to be a platinum too, but it's a Bud regular. That's what I'm drinking. So I was nervous at the 6%er.
You're barely a 1%er.
I'm fully aware.
I've had Bud Light Platinum once in my life. I brought a 6-pack to a fantasy draft at Big Mike's house, being like the social butterfly. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll just have like 2 or 3, leave the rest there. I think I drank all 6 plus a couple more. I blacked out that night.
You woke up in Ontario.
I mean, you're basically drinking 2 at a time. It's
in tall boy form, so it's 4.
Yeah, it was a really bad night.
Woke up on a barge on the way to Iceland. Just nonsense. So it's a Bud Light regular, but it's a tall boy. What do you have?
When you said what you were bringing beer to softball, I thought you did my holiday 5-pack idea, which is where my beer comes from. I went to a surprise birthday party. Couldn't care less, Zach.
You love her.
I do. She's great. Yeah. A couple weeks ago, there was a surprise birthday party where for somebody like I'm really good friends with the guy. It was his wife, 30th birthday party. Zach, she ugly cried when she came in for the surprise. Like, it was beautiful because it was a total surprise party. She didn't know what was happening, and she came in. It was like makeup running everywhere. It was worth it alone. And I've only really hung out with her once or twice, so I didn't know what to get her. I went ahead and went to the beer store and got from the Oliver Brewing Company, which is a Baltimore local beer. This one's called Be More Sour.
Sounds like you could have just gotten her some Clairol and called it a day.
Sour ale with blackberry and raspberry. It is not a ton of beer. I saw 5.2% alcohol by volume. I just like this. I was going to try to save this and use it for one of those, like, I'm pretty sour because the Ravens lost, and the timing just didn't work out. But I do have another story to talk about this when we get into today's show. Zach, release the Kraken.
I have to start working on this stupid thing. Oh.
I feel like you lost a bet
there.
L'chaim.
It's like blowing the shofar. Tequila.
Episode 203.
Oh,
calling this one Baked Goods.
Ooh, do we have any? Oh, I have some like bad birthday cake left over from when Molly came over. We made Mexican with Jenna. It took 3 hours to make, 14 minutes to eat. I don't get cooking.
That's a long time for eating. The amount of times it takes me an hour or 2, and it's like 5 minutes, maybe.
We made steak tacos. They were excellent. I wolfed them down. Cool.
Lately, you know I do all the cooking in my house, right? I don't know if you knew this.
You gotta do something.
So for me, I have been making a point where I'll make a big portion of something, which generally helps so you don't have to cook as much. The problem is, how many fucking nights in a row can you eat shepherd's pie?
Haggis. I don't know.
Do you know what I learned when I was making shepherd's pie?
The difference Scottish food is done on a dare. I stole that from the house I married an axe murderer.
If you put any ground beef in it, it's not all lamb, it immediately becomes a cottage pie. Learn that. Yeah, it's lamb that is the meat, minced lamb. And if you put half ground beef, which is something that the Poos do, you wouldn't know anything about that.
No.
It becomes a cottage pie, not a shepherd's pie.
I kill my own lamb. Have the lamb stop screaming.
Getting back to this episode, I've been dying to tell you this. This was a beautiful surprise party. We had a lot of fun. It was catered by this corporate.
I'm shocked you still know 30-year-olds.
I thought it was her 40th birthday. I swear to God, up until like going there, it's my good friend's wife. Like he looks like he's 50. He may be 36. I don't know. But
you met him?
He was at the wedding. Big guy, big husky guy with the beard. Really, really nice.
Cool.
So we do this party. I'm having a great time. It was one of those events that I went to and I was like, we're staying here for like an hour, right? It took us 2 hours to get there with traffic. And I ended up having a really good time. I was performing. There were people there that like laughing and like listening. Sign me up, right?
I love those parties. And you can work different rooms to do the same shtick.
Zach, I started doing act outs at one point. Like I was like, so I went to McDonald's and I literally walk across the room and pretend to order on a kiosk. Like I had them eating out of my hand. It was great. And it's towards the end of the party, and there was more than one cake there, and we're just sitting there. And next thing you know, you hear, oh, like that. And I look over, the mom knocked a whole birthday cake upside down on the floor.
Fabulous.
And you're just like, I was just, oh my God. They do everything they can to scoop it up and put it back in. There were two cakes. One of them was a red velvet cake. The other one was this upside down regular birthday cake, carpet cake. They salvaged some of it. I think I was the only person to have a piece of it.
You had floor cake?
I ate carpet cake.
I would eat floor cake, but red velvet is so douchey. Just get a funfetti and call it a day. Like, let's not overthink this. Make it sincerely. It's a cake. I don't want any fancy cakes. I don't just make it. The best cakes are the ones that are crappy. That a 9-year-old put the frosting on and wrote your name across it. And like it's supposed to be rise to this thin, but it's like that. And like you cut it and you hit glass right away. Those are the best cakes.
What a segue about frosting, because today we had orientation for daycare. My son starts on Monday, and we go in and meet with...
I mean, all the pieces are there, considering he's half Asian, but go on.
They tell us if we ever bring in cupcakes for somebody's birthday or whatever, they're very specific what you're allowed to bring in, which is why I want to talk about it. The lady goes, you can have icing on it. We're just going to wipe it off. There's no icing allowed in this school.
Because kids will go bananas.
It had nothing to do with allergies. It's nothing to do with them being too hyper.
You give a bunch of kids that age sugar, and then it's Lord of the Flies. People come home, bitten up. A kid is swinging from the chandelier. It's coconuts. Trust me, they just want these kids to eat a muffin, is what they're telling you.
Zach, today at the place, we got to see like the room, the cubby, everything.
They can't be hassled.
There was this little girl there that was so adorable. Her eyes were so baggy. She looked so tired. And I turned to Julia and I said, oh my God, this little girl looks like she needs a nap. And Julia goes, the girl has a black eye. She looks like she's been hit at home. What's going on?
What's the fentanyl situation at this daycare? Because the good ones have a lot.
The ones in the Bronx? Is that where?
Yeah. So, your kid gets a little tired. You just, give him a little pep talk. A little zhuzh.
So coming back to the episode of this show, the name of this episode.
Samantha does bananas. It's a soft world these days.
Talking about baked goods. Now, I'm doing my first trunk or treat this upcoming week. Are you familiar? Do I have to explain this?
I know what it is. I'm just shocked that this is still a thing. COVID is over. Go to people's houses like a creepy real person.
Okay, well, this is for the daycare to be in a safe environment. Also, the kids are all super young, and they've been doing it here where I live.
Because it's so safe to get goods out of people's trunks in a parking lot. That's how every slasher movie. Was she a big fat girl? Like,
no, dummy. You decorate your trunk, which we have a great idea. I will be sharing my pre-Halloween. I think next week, actually, I'm going to wear my Halloween costume.
Goes into a van very seamlessly.
You're locked into place, and you're in a safe space. Zach. It's the daycare where you pay $1 gazillion, and you're with other gazillionaires type of thing, right? And me.
I don't like it.
I want to really do it up. So I'm talking to my sister. I'm talking to Julia. I'm going like, look, what can I make? Can I make cookies? Can I give shots to the parents? And everybody has looked at me very serious. And they go, no, you give out the goddamn candy and that's it. Like there's nothing.
Don't overthink it.
Why?
Who gives a shit about someone else's kid?
Wait, you think I'm thinking about the kids?
Do you just want street cred from the parents for having the best trunk or treat?
Yes.
Thirsty. You know what I think? What the parents can think about me? Hopefully nothing.
Okay, so what you just did was you called me thirsty, and you said I'm overthinking it. Zach, hi, I'm Alan. Have we met? Like this is what I do.
Damn glad to meet you. Underthink it. Go to the thing. Get the little mini fun size whatever. Fine. You want some real cred? Get full size Charleston shoes. Then you're the tits. If you run a full-size Charleston Chew,
Charleston Chew? That's your
the longest one they make.
I don't think we have any of them in my town.
Mm-hmm. I know a guy.
I do have a really good Pishadoo of the weekend that will tie back into this. But what I was getting at, I just want to let you know, we went to Costco and we got a 2.65 kilogram bag of individually wrapped things where there are
2.56 kilograms?
Ton of Haribo gummy bears.
That'll land with the over 50 crowd.
If only I had a reason to save a bunch of gummy bear packets. No, anyway, so I'm probably just going to give those out to the kids.
Haribo or like
Haribo, the real stuff.
Ooh, not the poor gummy bears. I like that. Send them my way.
I just can't get over when it comes to this individually wrapped stuff. Now, and I immediately, the first thing I said when I told my sister, she goes, Alan, we don't eat from other people's kitchens, which is something that Mama Snyder preached growing up. Did you have that growing up? But you didn't have bake sales at your school, right? They were just like everybody handing out money.
No, we sort of did have bake sales. They were all right.
What are your thoughts? Does Zoe eat from other people's kitchens?
Like if she goes to someone else's house, can she eat?
No. Somebody kid shows up in school and the mom baked Rice Krispie treats.
Sure, have at it. I don't give a fuck.
That's how I feel.
It's a fucking Rice Krispie treat. It's Rice Krispies, marshmallows, and some tears. It's all good.
And butter.
And butter. You're like, who cares? What's going to happen to her?
AIDS? I don't know.
Sure. Magic Johnson beat that shit, so can we. Like, I'm allergic to tree nuts. I knew that going in. I'll say, are there nuts in it? No? Feed me. I don't care. Feed me, Seymour. I don't give a shit. Another reference only Ron Katz gets. Anyway.
Why don't you two get your own show?
Maybe we will. We'll talk Little Shop of Horrors.
Changing the laundry or whatever bullshit.
Rooting for the laundry. Perfect. Yeah, I haven't went time with the laundry since 74. Anyway, though, like, I don't give a crap. As long as she's not going to get an allergy, like, who's going to poison her? Who has the time and energy to bake goods? I just cooked for 3 hours. The last thing on my mind was poisoning. The first thing on my mind was, when is this over so I can eat it? I'd rather eat my own poison at that point.
You couldn't have segued this any better.
It's the cup game. Who cares?
Speaking of poison and baking, this is a story from forever ago. You know, my father was a slumlord when I was growing up.
He was a tough guy from the neighborhood, I heard. Yeah.
He had some guy, really nice guy. I don't think you're allowed to say WT anymore or even PWT, but let's just say he was a blue collar gentleman that my dad had, basically doing all the handyman stuff for him. I think his name was John. He was a nice guy. One Christmas, I couldn't have been more than 10. He invited us to his house and we drove down to.
When he did need something, was it the hardware store is that way? So your father gave him directions?
Did you actually had a little something going on there?
But
this guy, I'll never forget this story. I can't remember anything from the night other than when it was time to go. My father's like, we are getting the hell out of there. We went to this guy's house. They made dinner. I don't know. Maybe we had pizza. And he tells us halfway through the thing, he's just getting over poison ivy. And we're like, oh my God. My mother's like, get us out of here. And I'll never forget, he comes out. He was wearing oven mitts on both hands so he didn't scratch, like from Friends from back in the day.
Naturally.
And then as we're like, okay, we're leaving, he goes, oh, wait, I baked cookies. And my mother goes, we're not eating those cookies. Like, I think she said under her breath, like,
that's a whole other situation.
I know.
Poison ivy cookies versus bake sale cookies. I mean,
I know, Zach. This is I swear to you, this is a true story. A guy with poison ivy who, one, why tell us? Two, he wears the oven mitts. He then goes, I made cookies. And I remember my mother looking at me like, do not touch those cookies.
No, that's a shake it off situation. That's a nope. I'm allergic to what? Cookies.
I have been putting on my list of things to talk about. I wanted to talk about the Powerball weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. I didn't.
There was a couple. I don't know if people played the lottery or the Powerball or whatever, but for me, it's not worth it when it's $100 million. It has to be $700 million.
It's gotta be monstrous. It's too easy
right?
to get 100. Yeah.
Right. I always buy a ticket, and the only thing that ever happens is, I don't know, once out of every 3 or 4, I feel like I actually hit the Powerball number, which is
always hit the Powerball number, and you get $4 more in it. I've got to uncash one in my wallet right now.
Love
$4. I don't know what to do.
Did you hear that the winning tickets was sold in California?
Yep.
And the guy at the store, they interview the actual man who works all the time. He goes, everybody telling me if they win, they buy me a truck. Where's my truck? Want my truck? It was this guy's soundbite going off on that. But
we get a huge amount of money for selling the winning ticket.
I think it's like 5 digits. They get a decent amount. But, you know, you always play that game if you won. I'll just tell people right now, the difference of me winning the lottery and we should send a wellness check to Alan's house because I haven't heard from him in months are the same thing. Like, Kaiser Soze, gone. You would never hear from me again. Gone. If I win the lottery, you will not know if I'm dead or alive. It will be the same thing.
If I win the lottery, truth be told, you will still hear from me. Everyone, I won't tell anyone. Nothing will change.
It's public knowledge. You have to.
Who the hell?
You get like 3 months or something. I don't know.
Right, but like, who checks? Who checks that record?
You go. It's what your wife is getting attention for being Jenna Elias when this some asshole's Jenna Ellis. You don't think that everybody you would know? People talk.
She's signing an NDA. No, I would pick up the check a lot. I'd say I came into a little money. I would be fine about it. I would pay for everything, but nothing. I wouldn't move even. I'd probably just live here.
You're out of your mind. Your pain of assness level would go from a 9 to an 11. It'd be Spinal Tap all over again.
No, it wouldn't because
I don't believe it.
I don't love or need money. I've never. It wouldn't change me spectacularly. I would do the exact same thing. I would just like do a lot more of it, and I get better seats for things. Like you'd know, like, all right, something happened with this guy, but there's no need for them to know it was $1 billion.
Dude, you're talking about winning like $7 million. When it's $1 billion, you are going to start using a human as a footrest when you go to the concert.
Yeah, like, but no one will see it except for the guy next to me. NDA. Or I go rogue and I just buy a random soccer team like Wrexham and like now we all know, but like let's have some fun with the group. It would be Entourage.
We haven't done an You and Me rankings episode. It's been enough, at least 6 or 7. Billboard just put out their definitive 100 top songs of all time. There's no way that you and I could actually pick different songs. But I think for next week, why don't we do take their 100 and do our top 10 from their 100? Is that fair?
No, let's go.
I am limiting you. Of course, you and I, it's our show. If we want to sub something in or out, but I don't want you just being like Offspring, Green Day, Offspring, Creed. I think they're on there.
That's not making my list.
I'll send you the link for that.
Fine. I'm into it.
Zach, are you jerky? Are you quirky?
Only always. Did you see the JetBlue plane that tipped on its back wheels coming back from Barbados?
I only know about the pilot that was on shrooms that tried to kill everybody.
He's good. But the plane, is there a still shot of it or just the video? The video is, it's tilted backwards as they're getting off. This is like a fat guy joke. Like, go to the other side of the plane. This is like Police Academy 5. I watched this thing and was dying. The plane literally just goes.
They also almost were dying.
They were fine. Just a plane. New York City ranked the 3rd rattiest city in the country.
Chicago #1, then
Chicago
LA.
1, LA. Yeah, that made me. A New York City man was locked inside a vault overnight last night.
Inside man?
Exactly. But he wasn't the inside man. He was just a guy who was there checking out his safe deposit box. Who the hell goes to check on it? It hasn't changed.
No, people go twice a year. I have patients that have safe deposit box. They're like, no, I go check twice a year.
To do what? Do they spend anything?
Do you not ever check your bank account just for the sake of it?
No, it's there.
I don't believe
you. Money out. What?
I don't believe you. People do that. They go and they look to make sure everything's still there.
I get a statement once a month. I look at it and I call it a day.
Okay, so you check your shit 12 times a year.
Yeah, but I don't actually physically go to like look at my money in the bank. This guy physically went to go look at his diamonds. Oh, there they are. Well, now it's spending night here. But what's the bathroom situation?
Oh, you just piss all over everything.
4 a.m. today. He got out at 6:30. So you shitting in the corner of some safe deposit box.
I go on the other side. Or do you go in your own and then you can put it away?
No. You go in the other corner. You go as far away from yours as possible. Rule the animals. You don't shit what you eat. If that's your meal ticket, you're going to somebody else's box. Okay. I don't know why this made me laugh or smile, but did you see the waste shark? It's a thing that literally just eats garbage in the water.
They're called lobsters. Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, I watched this thing on the news for like a 5-minute segment, just mesmerized by it. Then I watched the video. It looks like a whale shark, and it just goes around, eats plastic, and you can control it. I would love to just.
I take it back. You will be the same asshole if you win $1 billion. The same exact person.
I'll go buy a waste shark and drive it around and clean the city up. Be a hero. So there's that. Your girl, Kristen Bell, you hear about her products? Hello, Hello, baby.
I did. Julie told me. Yeah.
Chapter 11.
You know what's funny? We've tried.
Congratulations,
I've bought the main diapers for my son. Julie has bought at least 3 or 4 different types that she was like, oh, I saw this one here. Oh, I tried it. 2 of the worst ones that we've ever had where he's just shit through every single time. One was Kristen Bell and the other one was some other famous person. Both companies belly up.
I should have sent this to you. Oh, they took it down.
Bastards.
What?
You just tell me.
So in the line of Philly fan being tased running across the street of the thing, a Philly fan was amazingly tackled after.
I saw it. I saw this.
The guy slides like right out of Street Fighter or something, or out of Mortal Kombat. The cop slides and like drags him down. The video was removed. It was breathtaking.
It was. I actually saw this.
And
yeah. I saw this video, and the only thing that came to my head was that security guy was trying to make a viral video. It was almost like
security guy is Chuck Norris.
It was really good.
Still
got the vid.
And I don't know if this made your list, but the University of Getting It Wrong in America.
Wait, no.
Michigan State.
Oh, sorry.
What did you
were going to say? Oh, because you remember we talked about the guy from Maryland who got a pig transplant? They did another one. The person's still alive.
Cool. You know who's not still alive? The answer to the trivia question at Michigan State's football game. Are you ready for this? Michigan State has issued a statement of apology. Michigan State had on the big screen said they used a third party for the content. The image appeared as part of a trivia question about Hitler's place of birth. We are deeply sorry for the content that was displayed, as this is not representative of our institutional values. Michigan State Associate Athletic Director Matt Larson said in a statement, MSU will not be using this third-party source moving forward to implement stronger screening approval for procedures of all video board content. No other quizzes were displayed on screen. And it is a picture of this. It says, we never dropped the ball. That was on the Michigan State-Michigan game Jumbotron. This is the University of Getting It Wrong in America. On the heels of everything else, they have one question for the crowd there, and it's Hitler's birthplace. Answer was Austria. Cool.
It doesn't bother me as much as you'd think, but not good.
Doesn't?
Right? Like, no.
If they'd asked 60 questions, maybe. One. They could have asked you, what color is the sky? That's where they landed. Hitler's birthplace.
Alrighty.
Where do you go with that? That's
you
what
done?
I got. I'm done.
That's what I got. Hey, Zach, what you watching? Something new?
Sort of. Oh, something old. We have, because of the birthday, we have started rewatching The State from the 90s. It's fantastic.
You've been talking about it for 201 episodes.
Great. I watched SNL. Awful. The first one, I don't even remember the host. Who was it? Not good. With I didn't even know. Davidson. He was fine. Nothing. Bad Bunny, maybe he's a good rapper, and I'm not trying to be mean. Like, he's as funny in English as I would be in Spanish. He's just not audible. The only saving grace was that Mick Jagger comes out of the bullpen and starts throwing flames out of this thing. But like, Bad Bunny, you can't make a guy who's not fluent host. It's not Anna de Armas, who has a little bit of an accent, is a smoke show, so you can watch it on mute. What's Beyond? That girl could start wars. But
yeah, I've seen Knives Out.
Yeah, she's like Helen.
And didn't she cause the Affleck Gardner divorce?
I don't know, but
I think she was the piece.
War Dogs is fantastic, just fantastic.
She thought she was getting an Oscar for Marilyn Monroe. Didn't have one.
Yeah, I don't buy it, but she's smoking. But fine. I'd rather see her barely mumble through English than Bad Bunny. He was terrible. What are they doing?
I'm going to watch this week. I told you Nate Bargatze's hosting. But he's a lifelong stand-up. I'll always give them.
These people these writers are on strike for about a year. They had all the time in the world to write stuff, be funny, be creative. It doesn't take that long to pick it. This is what they come up with? They had 8 months to make the best stuff. They should be out there just knocking it out of the park. No.
I told you I met one of the head writers of SNL, and you have more personality in your fingernail than this guy had in his whole body. I don't get it. Nah.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. That's what I've been watching. And BattleBots with Zoe because it's charming. What do you watch? What should I be watching as like?
No, that's true. Those are
TV?
two different things.
All right, go on.
Because there was a new movie that came out on Netflix, which was, I think, written and directed by Bill Burr. It's called Old Dads. And we sat down to watch it. I mean, Bill Burr's great.
The best.
It was like castrating a bull and going, now go do something. He was so restricted in what he could say and do. And a lot of the stand-up the shticks that he has, like he does a couple like anti-millennial snowflake bullshit jokes. And Bobby Cannavale might be my new favorite actor.
He's incredible.
It's him from Bupkis doing the same thing. It's one of those movies where I give it a,
what's it called?
Old Dads.
It
is a B, maybe B minus, but there's a couple of parts that it's just so slow that you're not going to laugh out loud, but you're going to do the, that's funny. Like, that's really good.
Right.
But it's worth watching because he does have a couple, but you know how Bill Burr's whole shtick is like, he just gets all riled up and goes. There's times that the words are a rant, but he's reading it like, and then I thought this, like, you can just tell he's reading it off of a cue
He was
card.
great in Crashing.
Oh yeah.
They played Marshall in the Bronx. I love that.
But
Brando read off a cue card in The Godfather. That worked out. He was reading off the ball's chest.
The real reason I'm telling you about this, I had to rewind it twice. If I didn't know better, I thought your boy Eric was in this movie.
Who was that?
There is a guy at a gym, so it's not Eric,
it's not him.
Who we had to rewind it, Zach, because I'm like, wait, is that Eric? It's far enough that it's his silhouette, it's his body type, which is nothing to be proud of.
Full duck. I don't know if you can. I can't see it.
I'm gonna send it to you, and it's enough that you go, oh my god, that looks just like Eric deadlifting, but it's not him.
Also, I had nothing to watch on Friday. I was home alone to watch Cobra from 1983. Fantastic. Stallone. There's no plot. It just goes hour and 20 minutes tight.
Over the top when you're bored.
Over the top's the best. Then Norm Macdonald destroying him and over the top. Reminds of Dad's custody battle with arm wrestling. It's so good.
Pishadoo of the week. I have 10 candidates, surprisingly, and I have some trivia at the end as well, so get excited. Candidate number 1. You brought up fun size. You brought up large size Charleston shoes. Well, one of our loyal fans texted me yesterday, is the show on tonight? What time? Mr. Ron Katz went ahead and we started chit-chatting back and forth, and I love this guy. He's definitely our number 1 fan, and I hope he's going to be on again. I asked him, are you going to have trick-or-treaters? What are you doing? He goes, oh, in our building, we only get about 12 to 15 people.
Penny for UNICEF?
Well, at that point, you might as well just give out the large bars. And he goes, nah, we're going to do the fun size.
Good for him.
You cheap bastard.
Say what you want to say. Call him what you want to call
him. A cheap Charleston Jew.
Oh, that was pretty good. Thanks.
Candidate number 2. This one's my favorite, although it's not the best. Did you hear? No. There is a female Italian prime minister who has who has a significant other who she just recently split up with because he's been going around asking women to have a foursome.
Who's the 4th?
Who's the 3rd?
God.
He went. Save her for Jesus. Is that what?
Yeah, exactly.
She's the prime minister.
She's the prime minister of Italy? Italy. So then, she's someone's Gumar? Shouldn't she have a Gumar, guy? That's what they do over there.
I can't believe this guy blew through the stop sign at threesome and is going around asking women for foursomes.
It's pretty good. So, but do they have to bring the friend? Is it the project? Because he's not getting one.
This guy must have a set of polpetta on him.
Sure he does. But it's like you bring the friend. It's like those two girls in White Lotus.
Candidate number 3. Bear with me. This UFC news is actually pretty good.
Very technical.
The doctor this past weekend, I did stay home. It was a day event, which was great. The doctor had 2 all-time blunders that because accidents happen, fouls happen. Doctor gets in the ring for one of the fighters, and the guy got illegally kneed, and he is all types of messed up. They're in Abu Dhabi. He turns to the guy
who's in his Abu Dhabis.
He got kneed in the head while he was a down man. Anyways, they asked this guy who is a Brazilian fighter, where are you right now? And his eyes were looking in all types of directions. And he just goes, I'm fighting in the desert. And the doctor turns to the referee and stops the fight because he doesn't know where he is. And the guy goes, I said we're in the desert. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
And it was like a lost in trance. It was the third biggest. It was like the third one from the main event. And you're going like, what an idiot. But the best of this doctor's career was earlier that night. There was a guy in a fight who might as well have been trying to kick a field goal. He goes, he winds up, kicks another guy square in the junk. You see the cup, you hear the thunk. The guy is on the ground, Zach. He is holding his jewels, rocking back and forth. The doctor gets in and turns to the guy and he goes, "Are you okay?" He goes, "No, I'm in so much pain." And the doctor goes, "You weren't hit in the nuts." He goes, "No, I was." They are now on the ground arguing. And the doctor then goes, "It's not a disqualification. The guy can't continue." The guy had to go to the hospital and get his nuts drained. And the doctor was telling him, "You're okay. He didn't hit you in the nuts." It was like an all-time, like, what in the fuck?
Same doctor?
Same guy. Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Moving on. Next candidate. Netflix is putting out all types of weird documentaries. Let me save you some time. They're making a documentary on Milli Vanilli, and they're going to explain why they did what they did.
I've already seen the VH1 behind the music.
Why did they lip sync to make a lot of money and be famous?
Yeah, because they're not good at what they do, but they made a lot of money.
There you go. Something else that's been, have you been seeing the sound bites or at least the clips coming out from Britney Spears is putting out a memoir or something? And she's just trashing everybody.
Yeah, she's just mowing people down.
Yeah, she told this story about how Justin Timberlake was a big poser and, she got around. But there was one thing that was released where she is now saying having sex with Colin Farrell was so intense, it was like being in a street fight. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Zach? Would you want to be remembered for being in a street fight?
As my sexual prowess?
Yeah. If somebody was going to trash you and they're like, it was like being in a street fight with that guy.
I don't think it's trashing.
I also am like, yeah, it did. Somebody needs to say that about me. I'm going to have to smack a bitch tonight.
I mean, anything goes in a street fight. Yeah, I like it.
But wait, okay. So that was my first thing was, no, that's a positive thing. My second thing was, hold on, a street fight? Because now I just told you the guy in the UFC got kicked in the dick. A street fight, you're like gouging people in the eyes.
So she gets down. That's how Colin Farrell does it.
Here's another story that tickled my pickle. Meta, Facebook's parent company, is being sued because they're deemed too addictive.
I saw that.
Isn't that the point of it?
God bless America. You could sue anyone for anything.
You know that other social media thing that wasn't too addictive? Do you know what happened to that one? I don't know. It's not around because nobody cared. Nobody watched it.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
Toys R Us went belly up because people buy stuff online, and that's not a way that we get our media or anything. Nobody buys toys anymore, right?
It's giraffe, deceased.
Do you know they're bringing Toys R Us back? Why? I don't know. To watch it go belly up again?
Yeah, it's not going to make it.
I don't get this one.
It's not going to make it.
With Halloween coming up, and as I said, I will be in costume next week. If you want to join, great. If not, you'll have to wait and see.
Kobe, also deceased.
Old school. It looks like I have the worst lighting ever. This jersey is just a bazillion years old, which is... They need to bring back those nylon ones. Of all the old school stuff, I like those nylon. This thing right now, I had lasagna for dinner. I'm eating it so carefully because red sauce just destroys this jersey. Those nylon jerseys, you can have chicken wings and just wipe it all over yourself. Nothing would happen.
Exactly.
But for Halloween, the actors are still on strike. Did you hear that the Screen Actors Guild has come out and limited what they're allowed to wear for Halloween?
What do they care?
Because there's a strike going on, and the SAG came out and said you cannot be wearing Wednesday Addams or any of the other fun costumes. It has to be generic ghoul, generic skeleton.
I would just wear costumes, of the executives that aren't paying me and ghoul them up.
I don't hate that.
Yeah.
I need to put some money on them. This story came up a couple weeks ago, and other people have taken my take, so I'm just going to repeat what I was thinking originally. They're going to be putting flag football in the Olympics.
Ridiculous.
Which is kind of cool, because there are people that have dedicated their lives to playing flag football. How long before the NFL just takes that over? Or if not the NFL, college players. If not college players, high school players.
Just takes what over? Just buys flag football league and makes it into a thing?
I'm just saying that whoever is the top flag football people, that's their sport, that's what they play. Your boy Logan from down the street. I'm telling you that Micah Parsons is going to be the new starting whatever for whatever team.
I want to see
there is.
Michael Vick as the quarterback. I guarantee he could just mow people, just be unstoppable.
Okay, I also agree. Do you know what I was going to bring up and couldn't find a good topic? Did you hear Cano and Cologne have now started playing baseball in like Saudi Arabia?
Amazing.
I know. I wanted to bring that up.
Julio Franco on the team too. Like, this is going to be amazing. I would love to see a geriatric league of baseball. Old Timers Day, but like, these are my guys. Ken Caminiti, but he didn't make it.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know, every time there's an old black baseball player, I go to Julia, who is that? And she goes, Ken Griffey. Meanwhile, Ken Griffey's on a tear right now. He's in every commercial.
Every commercial. He's like 60, still on the backwards hat. Looks great. I guarantee you in the Saudi League, he would crush.
I just remember during the pandemic, they started putting the KBO on, and it was like, oh, is that Hesop Choi? Couldn't care less. I would pay all the money to watch the 1993 All-Star Game today.
Oh, absolutely.
Right now.
Yes,
Right?
Right now. Yeah.
Not softball, baseball.
No, baseball. Go
baseball.
do it.
Why don't Zach? We should start a baseball league.
Old timers baseball.
You would. I mean,
Rocky
Roy Halladay's not making it.
Cal.
I did not take anything.
Alomar. Brady Anderson.
Which one?
The one that you guys had. I'm just naming old Orioles. Mike Bordick.
Are you doing like my 96 team, the Men in Black?
I'm doing your until you come. Yeah.
Todd Zeal.
It's a great Met.
BJ Surhoff. Oh my goodness.
BJ Surhoff was good. Yeah.
And my number one.
The entire audience is not in the greater Baltimore area.
Favorite story of the week. I have mixed feelings about this. Did you hear about the Washington senator? I think his name was like John Smith. He is the most generic. John Wilson is what it is. He flew to Hong Kong. Somehow he got through security in the airport, looks in his bag, has a gun, decides to go up to the officials and say, hey, somehow I forgot I packed this. I made it through security. Kudos to security in Seattle. And then, do you know what Hong Kong is doing to this guy?
Hope arresting him.
And looking at 14 years in jail.
He's an American senator?
American senator from Washington.
What?
We're going to have to trade Brittany Griner for him or something, right?
Somebody. They must want something from us.
What do you do? Because my first instinct was, dude, just throw it away. But then you
shoot your way out of there like an 80s movie. I've seen Die Hard 2. Just start shooting.
The Nagatawa Tower? What? I just know that, like, if somebody finds his gun in the trash can and shoots people, he's going to get in trouble. What do you do realistically?
If you have it,
yeah,
you keep it stowed.
And then he gets caught coming back the other way?
No, you got to leave it there somewhere. You get thrown in a river or something.
So you say just take it to the river?
Or like wipe it down. So what's yours? I have the serial number.
File it down.
Yeah, I've seen enough movies and how this is done. You won. You beat security. Don't test fate twice, but or FedEx it back to yourself.
Can you send a gun in FedEx?
I can.
I can. Yeah. You can't smoke in your
bullets, but what's the difference? So if you buy a gun online, I think, or however people get, I don't like Waynesville. I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns. Gun rack. I have no idea how to smuggle a gun, but smuggle, splendid. Yeah, I have no idea how to do any of this, but yeah, exactly. I'm sure he does, or he got a guy for it.
Gotcha. Something I wanted to put now that the World Series is set, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Texas Rangers, which I think is going to be one of the lowest rated World Series ever.
No complaints.
Maybe this is either going to be the easiest or the hardest trivia you've ever seen.
No Phillies, no Orioles. Good.
That was uncalled for. We can be done here. We can be done here. The Diamondbacks, which is a type of snake, and their nickname is the Snakes. Do you know what their Do you know what their mascot is? That's right. You guessed it. A bobcat. I saw that. Yeah, Baxter the Bobcat. I saw that. I was like, what in the shit? I was going to put on my Pishadoo of the week list, but then I said, you know what? I bet you some other teams have some very interesting mascots. So,
I'm gonna go for Allison on this one. What do we got?
well, it's actually pretty hard because like Billy the Marlin was too easy, and you have like Ace the Blue Jay, and there's some other ones. But here's what I have for you in alphabetical order. I'm going to give you the name and the type of animal, and I'm also going to give you in alphabetical order the cities. All you got to do is try to match them up.
Should I get paper for this?
I'll just keep reading them.
No. I've got paper.
Are you ready?
No. Now I'm ready.
The first one is you want me to do the mascots first?
I don't care.
Okay, mascots are Dinger the Triceratops.
All right.
We have DJ Kitty. We have
DJ Kitty.
Lou Seal. That's spelled not like BB King's guitar, but spelled like Lou, the seal.
What? Okay.
You have Orbit the alien. You have Slugger the lion. And you have TC Bear. Those are these.
Bear?
I thought one or two of these was pretty easy, but
okay.
do you want me to give you the cities now?
Sure.
In alphabetical order, we have Colorado, Houston, Kansas City.
Hold on.
Just write KC. You
I'm doing it. Houston takes time.
Minnesota, San Francisco, and Tampa Bay, or the Tampa Rays, wherever the hell they go by. If I'm going to give you one tiny clue, something I did, no. Some of these, like, there are multiple. I didn't know there was multiple mascots for different teams. Like the Washington Nationals, they have the Presidents and they have Screech the Eagle. So I was like, I didn't know there was. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, buddy. Knock yourself out.
Slugger the Lion is KC.
Slugger the Lion is KC. Okay, I'll tell you. You want me to tell you if you're right or wrong now or after?
I don't give a shit.
You're
tell
right.
me if I'm right or wrong.
That is correct.
Okay.
How'd you know that?
I don't know. Orbit's got to be Houston.
That is also correct.
All right, 2 for 2. Dinger the Triceratops, Seal Kitty, TC Bear. TC Bear's got to be Minnesota Twin Cities.
That is also correct. I thought that was a gimme.
Okay, all right.
I can't believe we've gotten through.
Lou the Seal has to be San Francisco because they have seals in the harbor there. Okay, now Dinger the Triceratops and DJ Kitty. I'm gonna say, these ones get tough. I'm gonna say Dinger the Triceratops is Colorado and DJ Kitty's Tampa Bay.
Dinger is a purple Triceratops, and Tampa is the strip club capital of the world. Zach, well done. 6 for 6. That was really good.
Wow, Alice, eat a bag of. I can't say that's your sister. Well, that was
there.
Intense.
You go.
That was deductive logic.
Booze, your daddy, the podcast. Thanks for listening to tonight's episode.
Thank you.
Zach, you were drinking a Bud Light, knowing that they are now the official sponsor of the UFC. I appreciate that.
I did not know that. But that was very technical.
We out.
Banger.